Thank you, Clemson softball team. Okay, thanks for a good evening so far. Last team that we'll recognize tonight is a group that really excites me. I've enjoyed learning about lacrosse and had fun supporting them this year, and led by a really strong coaching staff. Grateful lacrosse team, y'all. Come on out.
Opening the door for our players to witness as Christian athletes. and these guys still prayed for the other team. They prayed for the salvation of the other team. It was amazing to see the strength and courage of these young men in the wake of such adversity to step forward as Christian athletes. What was probably the highlight of this season to me was when we, as a team, one practice, prayed for each other, prayed for the salvation of this team. And I can tell you that every single player on this team prayed for salvation. This is a saved team. So our record of 4-7 isn't to some a winning record, but don't tell these guys. They had an incredible winning season, and I'm proud of them. We do have a lot of players, so what I'd like to do is go ahead and show you online. I'm going to just read off their names and ask the players to step forward. We'll hand out their varsity certificates, and then we'll go into our awards. We're going alphabetical order. I don't know if every player is here, but the first player is Caleb Allison. Caleb's a junior. Come on back. Come on up. This is Caleb's second year playing lacrosse. Zach Ballard is a sophomore. This is Zach's first year. Griffin Bars. Griffin is a freshman, I believe. This is Thomas Boland. I don't think Thomas is here. Thomas is one of our two seniors. We'll talk more about Thomas when we hand out awards, but just a tremendous asset to the team. Colin Brown, a freshman. Evan Zurich here. Evan's a freshman, another second-year player. Austin Cohn, an 8th grader. And I got to tell you, Austin is our first 8th grader to step forward. I know a lot of the other teams that presented here tonight had 8th graders, some 7th and 6th graders on their team. What I'm most proud of with these guys and our 8th graders is the physical size difference between 8th graders and some of the seniors or juniors that we played against in a very physical game like lacrosse. It can be overwhelming. And for anybody who has not seen a lacrosse game, think of a combination of hockey and football wrapped into one. It's fast, it's hard-hitting, it's extraordinarily physical. Not one of our 8th graders ever backed down from the physicality of the game, and that's just a testament to their character. Nick Ferrens is Nick here. Nick is another 8th grader who stepped up to play. Trey Fiskus, a freshman. Jack Forty, Jack here. Jack's a freshman, first-year player. Fletcher Graham, a freshman. Dylan Gravinsky, 8th grader. Kyle Hamlin, a sophomore, one of our team captains. Kyle, in our very first game of the year against Forsyth Country Day, broke his ankle. We expected him to be out for the season. He wasn't. He came back, and that's what I had to deal with all year. Jake Hadfield, a junior, team captain. Jason will pick later. Gary Hadley, sophomore. Cody Newsby, sophomore.
Right, Cody.
Chase Newsby, 8th grader.
All right, Jason.
Andrew Lee, Andrew here. Andrew's a freshman. Chris Lutzel, sophomore.
Chris.
My son, Patrick McDonough, Patty Mac. Zach McIsaac, Zach here. Zach's a freshman, first-year player. Nate McMullen, he's a freshman, second-year player. Sasha Robinson, sophomore, first-year player. Carter Sackett, 8th grader.
Yeah, Carter.
Jacob Schoenrock, a freshman. And then Sam Schoenrock, 8th grader.
Sam.
Dylan Selitsky, Dylan's not here. Dylan is our second senior on the team. He's a first-year player, tremendous player, really stepped up for us. Paul Van Weerden, freshman, he's a first-year player. Grant Van Weerden, junior. And Noah Van Weerden is a sophomore. Before I hand out the team awards, I just want to recognize a few people that really contributed to the team this year. Our team coordinator, Seth Brown, we appreciate it. Art Kelly Van Weerden, they're every game with water and help keep stats, help timing, keep penalties. Appreciate Art Kelly, and then my wife, Maria Lutzel, was there keeping stats. She was there. I don't forget others. I always forget, Scott, I'm sorry.
Thanks for the film.
Scott usually filmed every one of our games and had it uploaded onto YouTube before I got up the next morning to watch the game. Tremendous asset, really appreciate it. Our first award is the Christian Character Award. As I explained to you in my opening, every one of these players deserves this award. Everybody prayed at some point through the season for their teammates, for their families, for the other teams. But these awards were voted on by the players. Dave and I had no input in these. So to see that the team thinks of each other in the way that they did in these awards is quite remarkable. And this particular player showed his Christian character every game. We played a lot of teams that were very physical. Some of them might say a little dirty. It's a physical game, it's an emotional game, and at times things do get nasty. This particular player was, well, he kept his composure when a lot of us wouldn't have. And it was a true testament to his character, a true testament as a Christian athlete. And so the Christian Character Award for the Varsity Lacrosse team is Chris Lutzel. The Heart and Hustle Award for our team. The game of lacrosse is a very fast-moving game. Everybody's hustling. If you're not hustling, you probably shouldn't be on the lacrosse team. But this one particular player was called upon to play different positions at different times. He played defense, and then we moved him to what's called long pole mini, where he was always the fastest player off of the face-off, always the player coming up with the ground ball from the face-off, always the player outrunning everybody, getting everybody to the ball. His nickname is Hollywood for a reason. Grant Van Weerden. player, truly an asset of the team. He led our team in goals scored. He's a captain of the team. He's a junior, and already has some colleges looking at him to play lacrosse. And I can tell you, obtaining a lacrosse scholarship is not easy. There is a lot of competition and very few scholarships. So the fact that anybody is getting looked at tells you what quality of a player he is. He's just an outstanding young man, somebody I'm very proud of. Jake Hatfield. The most improved award really could have also gone to, the recipient of the most improved award could have easily been the outstanding team contributor. The way this player stepped up. He's not here, it's Thomas Bolden, and I hate that he's not here, because when I explained to you what he did and how he stepped up, I think you really appreciate the significance of this award. In our very first game of the year against Forsyth Country Days, I told you about how I was starting to tackle him down with a broken ankle. Our starting goalie also was lost for the season with a broken hand. We didn't have a backup goalie. So apparently earlier in that day, Coach O and some of the other players drew straws and decided that if our starting goalie got hurt, Thomas would step in. Well, it's kind of a joke, everybody thought that would happen. Goalies don't usually get hurt. Nate Bowen, our starting goalie, broke his hand. Thomas stepped in, and the rest was history. Not only did Thomas step in as goalie, he did a phenomenal job at goalie. Thomas kept us competitive in a lot of games where the score should have been under control. It was because of Thomas and the way he played. So I wish he was here. I wish we could cheer him on. But he did receive that award from his teammates tonight. Thomas is also a senior, as is Dylan Solinsky, and we hate to lose them, but we wish them well as they go forward. No more stories. Your 2013 Park